So our wedding anniversary is coming up. We're married about 14 years almost. And as a gift to ourselves, we're painting the room.
/ what Steph asked for.
We've lived in this house for close to 2 years now. We actually haven't changed any of the colors. It's been mainly just quality of life improvements / required updates.
Pretty much every room in the house except for the study and the family room is this kind of off-white cream-ish color. It's an odd color. It's not terrible, but it doesn't feel like home.
It's beige.
It's very light beige.
It's beige. So as you can tell, we've been sampling some paints.
It looks great on camera.
Not quite there yet. It's a little too brown in person, but we kind of like what it looks like at the edges. So we're getting there. Before we can do all that, we have to do everything else in the room because I only want to paint it once. Gotta move some switches. I had to rewire some pot lights so the wires were going through the beams, not over top of the beams.
We're also getting some windows installed soon, so we have to double check that they're framed properly.
I have concerns that the headers might be undersized for the load they're bearing.
It's the biggest window in the house is in the dining room. We did actually start a little bit a week ago because our anniversary is in about 2.5 weeks. So when I mentioned this a week ago, Chris said, well, I gotta start doing the rewiring then.
Yeah, no time to waste.
So the biggest thing I think is gonna be just mudding, sanding, because there are a lot of holes in these walls.
Especially now, they put more in.
Yeah. So I guess we'll walk you through the light switch debacle and all the before-ish shots.
Yep, as we race the clock between now and our anniversary.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming along. Come with us as we take you through the experience that is what happens when you add switches as needed as opposed to a grand design. Here we have the old switch for the basement, which you access here. I leave it on constantly because who has a switch on the far side of the door once you come through? The only switch for the dining room, again, it's just inconvenient. No switches by the front door. But to be fair, when we moved in, it was screwed shut. And over here we had 3 switches, one for the parlor, one for the hallway, and one for the outside. But again, just throwing switches where it's convenient, not where they should be by plan. Our idea, you have outside light, dining room right there, hallway only here, parlor light switches in the parlor. Crazy that light switches being in the room they're supposed to be in. Move that guy to the far wall when you just walk in. So you'll be a much more natural hit as you're coming in. And of course, moving the basement light switch into the basement. So reposition the lights to give us the opportunity, or force the opportunity rather, to actually examine how the wires are put up for the pot lights. See, that one is right up against the floorboard, which means if I do any work upstairs on the floor, I've got a real good chance of hitting it with a screw or a nail. So we gotta move that one down. Having traced them all, the ones between there and there are fine. The ones between there and there need work. This one needs to be opened up specifically so I can get the wire for the lights and switch for the chandelier all through the same hole. So we're just gonna put a hole in the approximate middle of the beam here and extend it down through it over there. They make fancy flex bits that in theory work for this, but I don't have a good angle of attack. so I'm likely going to just be adding bit extenders. We'll see how it works out in the end. So I got the drill bit from that hole all the way to this hole. Tie this off on the bit that's stuck in here and pull it all back the way it came, because getting my hand in here is very difficult.
Originally, when we were looking at colors for this room, the theme was, from my head, butterscotch. And that led us to this color, which looked great as a little sample, and when we put it on the wall, it looked like baby poop.
We followed up with mustard and Dijon mustard. Not a big fan of those ones either.
Yeah, we kind of overcorrected because this one was too brown. But then we decided to split the difference and found this nice butterscotchy copper color. And this is officially the color for the room.
So we're placing the header because 2x6 is way too small for that length. So to do that, we're going to have to stick 2 studs in here, do a double up jack to give it support on the one end that it needs. This is not good enough. There's a wire running to the bottom, so we have to fix that as well. It makes my life easier for putting an outlet halfway underneath the window, so you gotta love that. Because you can see how they shoved it in here really tight. That's really bad. This is not insulation that was installed in any way resembling a good way. It should be flush and not compressed. Well, with the thing open like this, you can actually see the old construction of the house. Big wide boards going horizontal. And you can see all the air movement that happens underneath. All these black lines are just dirt and dust that kept sucked in with the air as it went over the course of 30 years. Alright, so we're all opened up, ready to start the installation process. Before that, we have to put a temporary support wall up to bear the weight of the floor above, while this beam gets cut out and replaced. To do that, we're going to our favorite local hardware store, the Barn. saving Lenore. Today we're saving her from some shoddy work done in the 90s. The 1990s. Well, it's true part of this house did exist in 1890. It's not that part. What happened is they replaced the window here in the 90s and took out the wall that was here. And that meant this beam lands right on top of this window. And all they got supporting it right now is a 2x6 nailed into the studs. There's no jack studs, there's no support. The nails are the only thing keeping this beam up. That's not right. So to make it right, we're gonna put in the jack studs, cut everything along this level, and put in the span from here to here. They'll support the beam. We're gonna use a nice LVL, makes up the whole difference that's there. It's gonna be a lot stronger and a lot better, and I'll rest a lot easier. This is the second window we've had to do. I don't think it'll be the last, but let's get it done. So just attaching the jack studs that'll hold up the beam above. I'm dealing with a very unique and challenging area. So rather than driving nails in from here, I'm using some really long construction screw or structural screws to pull it up tight against here. I've got a little blocking to pull the board out, keep it level with the outer face. These two are already nailed together, and this sucker will go right into the last of it. Really draw it in nice and tight, tie them all together nice and strong. You do what you can when you're doing the reworks. You don't always have access to like, this is how it's supposed to be done. Because sometimes there's a window in the way. It's just how life is sometimes. It's about adapting to the situation you're in and making sure it will still function like it's supposed to. The space we're dealing with next is so tight that I can only pass the stud through one at a time. I have to pre-drill these holes so I can push them in with the stud not in position, line it up, slot it in. There's very little room. Just enough to get the driver in there with a 90-degree angle attachment if the thing is through the two pieces of jack stud. It will of course be drilling or screwing into the stud that's already present there. That's where the strength will come from. And the head here, big wide head, will pull it up tight. And it's just how it's gotta be because I got no other room. Alright, so due to a variety of factors, and most certainly not because I forgot to hit record, you're joining me here. We've got all the old material cut out. I've got one of these bad boys cut to length. So it's time to socket it in and hope for the best. I was hoping I could just not deal with this, but it looks like I don't have a choice. I'm not gonna get an angle on it with it there. Beam.
It looks good.
Looking better than what it was.
Yeah.
That's actually going to carry some weight now. Well, after many words that would be reason to be monetized on YouTube, this room is ready to be put to rights again. Nice big beefy beams above the windows to support other beams or just other floors. I'm gonna bore you with the process. Thought we got rough. Taping. And we're gonna make it look pretty. At least that's the plan. I don't know how it's showing up, but we got a rough job here. Persnickety is not happy with it. Let's see if I can't make it look a little less shabby. Not too shabby. I give it a 3.4 out of 10 on the shabbiness factor. Like golf, lower score is better. Is it perfect? No. You want to tell me how to do it? Go right ahead. Do you want to show up and do it? I'll entertain offers. All right. They say mud makes what a drywall ain't. When you're not that great at mudding, there's no second part to that phrase. All you gotta do is sand, baby, sand. I'm just going along, putting the drywall in, get to the bottom corner here, and I realized they left a strap behind from the lath and just drywalled over it, but they didn't do that everywhere. So now I have to take this thing out so I can have a nice even install. I don't have baseboard to go whomp at the end. So we're back, tearing along. We got the 3 coats in on the drywall. I just want to do 1, maybe 2, because I'm not good at drywalling or mudding. Coat of the pre-made stuff, smooth everything out. So being that far along, we ran into an issue. This wall slopes in between here and here. There's more than a little bit of a gap. I mean, no one's gonna see it. It's over here in the corner. What's the point of doing anything with it? It's just a lot of extra work to bump this panel out. taking a lot longer than we thought it would. But what job doesn't? Part of it's my inexperience. This is not my full-time job. Gotta try to work around things. And I don't have that much experience or knowledge on how to do this. I'm trying the best that I can with the tools available. The other problem is these walls are all cupping like lumber from a big box store. They are uneven and not flat. So I could try to fix that. One of the ways I can try to fix that is I'm going to try what's called mud framing around the door behind me. The frame for the door actually takes a bunch quite proud of the wall. So we're going to just taper the wall out to come to this point so that when we go to trim the door, we don't have a gap like that thick all the way around. There are other examples like this throughout the room. It's just adding time, but that's just how it is.
So we won't bore you with the hours upon hours upon hours of footage of mudding, but here's about where it's been for the past 6 months.
As you can see in the up close, there's still a lot of work to do on the walls. Lots of little bubbles and things. But the main big evening out has been done. All that's left is extreme amounts of finishing.